Hi, AlRock30-6 here. Today I'm doing an instructional video on how to shoot a compound bow. First I'm going to talk about your body posture and how to position yourself. So with your feet should always be aligned with your shoulders. You don't want your feet in too close to each other, and you don't want it too far out. About shoulder length is nice, okay? My target's this way. Your foot's facing the target, the back foot's sort of like facing here, okay? And you draw back, you stretch out your back, you draw back, then put your corner of your mouth on the kisser button, line up your peep sight with your front sight, exhale, then hit your trigger on your trigger glove, and it should send the arrow flying down range and accurate. But there's many steps I'm going to talk you through, and I just do it in like sort of in paragraphs, the way in stages, the way I shoot. So we're going to go over those stages. Furthermore, I'm going to show you how to grip the compound bow. You don't death grip it, you don't just grip it in any way. There's a way of gripping properly. So on your hand is called, you know where your lifeline is on your palm right here? That's where you want your bow pressed against, is right here. So just pretend you're saying stop to someone like this. Stop. Okay? So the bow will be resting against your palm like this. Okay? And you draw back. And all it is from you drawing back on the string, it's pressing against your palm. And the bow is just pressing against your palm. And you're not death gripping. Because if you death grip it, what tendencies usually happen is you cantilever the bow, and then your windage is going to be off on your shots, and you're going to be inaccurate. But if you just pull back and have the proper posture, and it's pressing against your palm, then you won't cantilever, and your accuracy will increase after you practice. So remember, the grip is very important. I'm going to show you that when I shoot, and we're going to do it in stages. So now I was going to go over the parts in the bow that you need to know, the names. So when I explain things to you, you understand what I'm talking about. You know, this video is more for beginners, so that's why I have to be so explicit and explain what the parts are. So I got my bow right here. I'm going to turn this video around, okay? So now that you see my bow, all right? So see this here? That's called a kisser button. This red piece on the string, that's a kisser button. This here is called a peep sight, okay? This is where you look through and you line up with what's called a pin sight, which is here. So that's your pin sight. Now it has 5 pins, okay? The top one is your closest distance, and I have that set at 20 yards or closer. And then the second one, I have it at 30 yards, and then 40, and then 50, and then 60, okay? You can also do it every 5 yards. I did after 20, I did it every 10. Now this here is called your arrow holder. Okay, I got a drop, but you can also get a biscuit. Most common is biscuit, especially if you're hunting. I like the drop style arrow holder. But and then here is what we call a D loop. See this D loop there? That's where you knock your arrows. And the D loop also, that's where you connect your glove. So see here I have a glove, okay? And that there hooks onto that D loop. And the piece sticking out is your trigger. You press on that when you're ready to shoot. You don't touch that trigger unless you're shooting. So when you are pulling back on your bow string, you have your finger in behind that trigger because you don't want to accidentally hit that trigger while you're pulling back. It's you know, it's dangerous, and you don't want to be doing that. So always have your finger in behind that, and then once you breathe out and you're ready, you line up your target, then you put your finger on that trigger and you do a nice even pull. And that's what that's for. This is what you use to draw back your string and pull the trigger and release the string. Okay, so I'm going to show you in steps on how to shoot. So I'm going to start shooting, and I'll tell you in steps how I think and how I talk to people when I'm training them how to shoot. So now I'm going to start shooting. So this is what I do is I load my arrow. Okay, now the fletchings, see here, the fletchings, this one here should be sticking out. Okay, the one on top should be sticking out towards you. Okay, and now when you knock it, you push all the way back and you hear a click. That's how you know it's knocked. If it's not pushed back enough, it's not going to shoot properly and it's dangerous. So make sure it knocks properly and it's sitting there properly. Okay. Okay. So now I take my trigger, put it on the D loop. See this finger, trigger finger? I put it in behind like I was saying before. Okay. And now I'm going to stretch out and pull. Okay. So here we go. Now remember the grip I told you? See that? That's what you want. Okay. Against the palm. Okay. And if you're going to be hunting, don't get in the habit of leaving your fingers out like that, because the broadheads can cut your fingers open. You want them in a little bit, okay? Like this. Okay, but have that kind of feeling to it, okay? So now, I'm going to draw back, okay? And then you hit the wall and it eases up on the pressure. Kisser button in the corner of the mouth. Peep sight, you line it up with your front sight. And your target. Exhale. Finger on the trigger. And shoot. Bullseye. So the steps are trigger on the D loop, pull back, kisser button on the corner of the lip. Okay, that's stage 2. Okay, stage 3 is peep sight, front sight, target. Line them all up. Okay, exhale, putting your finger on the trigger as you exhale. And then stage 4 is pull the trigger after you have everything lined up, and then you shoot. Okay? So we're going to do that again. Okay? One more time. All right? So, here we go. Okay? Okay? And we knocked, it clicked. Okay? Now we put the trigger on. Okay, so now it's clipped, fingers in behind the trigger. Always remember that, finger behind the trigger. Okay, stretch out, see, and my feet are shoulder length apart, my palm is on the bow like this. Okay, now we're pulling out. Okay, kisser button on the corner of the lip, peep sight, front sight, target, shoot, and there we go. Okay, that's all it is. And if you do that consistently, you become a consistent shooter.